Ciao e benvenuto! My name is Valentina Stella and I'm a native Italian tutor. And in today's video, we're going to learn how to correctly translate to leave in Italian. So, to leave can be tricky to translate in Italian because in English, the same verb to leave can be used to cover several different situations. So, you use to leave for saying that you're leaving a place, that you're leaving for a trip, that you're leaving something at home. All those different situations are covered with just one verb, which is to leave. That in Italian, unfortunately, doesn't happen. In Italian, there's not just one way to translate to leave all the time. We actually have 4 different ways to translate to leave, and we covered 2 of those in the previous video. So if you missed that video where we go over the first 2 ways to translate to leave, please watch that one too, because this way you will have the complete understanding of how to correctly translate to leave in Italian. I'm going to make sure to leave a link to that video in the description box down below, so you can watch that one too. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to learn the other 2 cases, the other 2 ways to translate to leave correctly. And both these 2 ways that we're going to see together today involve leaving a place. So we have 2 ways to say to leave when we talk about leaving a place. For example, when you want to say, I left home. In Italian, you can translate that sentence with 2 different verbs. One is uscire and the other one is andare via. Now, in general, uscire means to exit or to go out. Instead, andare via means to go away. So, how do we pick between the 2 of them? Which one is the right one to use, since they are both used for leaving a place? Well, a good trick is to think about for how long you're leaving a place. That's the trick. So we distinguish between uscire and andare via depending on how long you're going to be away from the place that you left. Now, let's see this in practice with some example sentences that will clarify this and will help you to see this in a real context. But before we do that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you're going to be notified whenever I post a new video to help you learn and improve your Italian. Okay, let's learn and practice how to correctly translate to leave, and this is part 2. So we saw that we have 2 ways to translate to leave when leaving a place. And a good way to distinguish between the 2 ways is to ask yourself for how long you are leaving that place. So if you want to say that you're leaving a place temporarily, so for a limited amount of time, then in Italian we use uscire. Repeat after me. Uscire. Uscire. So we use uscire when we're talking about leaving a place for a limited amount of time, for a short period of time. And I put da in between brackets because I want you to remember that we always use da with uscire. So whenever you need to say to leave a place in Italian for a limited amount of time, in Italian remember to use uscire, da, and then the name of the place. This is one of the best ways to memorize prepositions in Italian in an organic, natural way. I know that prepositions can be very tricky. I know that very well. So one thing you can start doing immediately is that whenever you have a verb that needs a specific preposition, memorize the verb with the preposition together in the same moment. This way, you're going to always remember that that verb needs the preposition and you don't have to remember rules or examples. You just have that in your mind. So remember, uscire, da. Va bene? Okay. So let's suppose you want to say, I leave the office at 6 p.m. Now, if you say a sentence like this, is this leaving a place? Sì, the office. Is this leaving a place for a short period of time? Well, probably yes, because if you leave the office in the evening, you're probably going to get back to it in the next morning or after the weekend. So you're going to get back there in a short period of time, in a short amount of time. That's why we can use uscire to translate this sentence. So I leave the office at 6 p.m. in Italian is esco dall'ufficio alle 6 di sera. Repeat after me. Esco dall'ufficio alle 6 di sera. Perfetto. Kids leave school at 4 p.m. Are we talking about leaving a place? Sì. Are we talking about leaving a place where they're going to go back soon? Sì, because kids usually go back to school the next morning or after the weekend, exactly like with the office. So can we use uscire in this case? Certo, sure. So in Italian that is I bambini escono da scuola alle 4 di pomeriggio. Repeat after me. I bambini escono da scuola alle 4 di pomeriggio. Perfetto. Now, what if you are talking about leaving a place but for a longer period of time or forever? In this case, we cannot use uscire. We lack the main condition for uscire to be used. So we have the other verb, which is andare via. So andare via in Italian means to leave a place for a longer period of time or forever. Repeat after me. Andare via. Andare via. Okay, and as we saw with uscire, even andare via wants the preposition da, so it needs to be followed by the preposition da before you actually name the place you are living. So let's see this into action. Let's suppose you want to say her parents left Italy 20 years ago. So in this case, we are talking about leaving a place, right? Leaving Italy. But that's not a place they got back the next morning, or they got back after the weekend, or they got back after 1 week. They didn't get back to Italy. They didn't come back to Italy in the last 20 years, and they're probably not going to. So we can say that this is leaving a place forever. In this case, we cannot use uscire, but we can use andare via. So, i suoi genitori sono andati via dall'Italia 20 anni fa. Repeat after me. I suoi genitori sono andati via dall'Italia 20 anni fa. Ok, molto bene. If we want to say we left the party early, what can we use? We are leaving a place, the place of the party, and we're not getting back to it. We just went home. So, can we use andare via? Certo. So, we left the party early in Italian is siamo andati via dalla festa presto. Repeat after me. Siamo andati via dalla festa presto. Molto bene. Okay guys, let's recap what we learned today. We saw that we have many different ways to translate to leave in Italian, and the specific translation depends on the specific action you are describing. So when you say that you're leaving a place, so we're talking about leaving a place, you can use either uscire or andare via. And the way you quickly distinguish between the two of them is this. Use uscire when you're leaving a place or you're talking about leaving a place for a short period of time. And use andare via when you're talking about leaving a place for a longer period of time or forever. That's it. So, as always, let's put this into practice as soon as possible. So, why don't you leave me a comment with your own 2 sentences, one with uscire and one with andare via. Remember that immediately putting these topics into practice is the way to make sure that they're going to stick and that you will be able to use them whenever you will need them. So make this concept your own by practicing as much as possible and start immediately. Don't wait. act immediately on what you just learned. So leave me your 2 sentences, and if you find hard to make your own sentences, no problem. Get back to the sentences that we used in today's video and use them as templates to make your own, or just copy down them. That's still good. That still counts as long as you actually put this into practice and make it your own some way. So leave me your comment, and that's all for today. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a great day. Buona giornata e a presto. Ciao da Valentina.